You can see me staying for the book. She still have a little line, you still have a little line? Okay. Yeah, no, you could go ahead, but no vibrating, no cell phone use at all. Okay, if you have to use a phone to answer text or whatever, you just step right outside and go right ahead, no problem. And you don't have to ask to go to the bathroom or anything, just go play. No dings, no beeps, no, I taking notes on my cell phone. Because that don't work in no class. I tried and it must be my 11th time, it don't ever work. Nobody's turned off their notifications, and while the Facebook hot news is becoming through and we get so excited, you know, we get distracted. What I normally say is, with the money you pay to be here, we want to get our money's worth, right? We're going to buy a new purse, we're going to save this money for vacation, we're going to do all sorts of fun things with these funds, right? But we investing it in ourselves, so we want to get 100% of our investment, right? 100% terms, all the dividends possible. So therefore, we can take all the time we have and focus on learning, getting to know this book and what this book saying, what we should do. Sound good? So that's a good reason to get off these phones? Okay, good. Everybody is still agree though. People will be big mad at me when I say no phones. But in the end, it'll be worth it. Okay? Because this is summer session and it's short and sweet. But we still have to cover all, you know, all the grounds. Okay, so we just could give 5 more minutes. This is the first class and let everybody come. But y'all can start to read. It's a very interactive class. Everybody will get a chance to read it. How that sound? Yay? And the people who sit to the front, I believe they want to read right away, so no, I give them the first preference. I give them the first preference. When you sit up front, that means, you know, you have all the answers. Yeah, I don't even have to go up. I look right in your eye and it's your turn. Right? Hello, how you doing? Good to see you. That's good. Okay, and since nobody didn't have their book, or a lot of people won't have their book until the next class, we have a handout that we'll read. I hope we read this in our next class because I see some familiar faces. But we'll go through this handout and then everybody will give some feedback on it. And then we'll have homework on it and persons will come in and present their homework to the class. Okay? So, supervision. You have to be ready. I have stage fright. I hate to talk in front of people. I hate all of this, but if you expect to be a supervisor, you will have to do some presentation. You'll have to have a huddle in the morning. You have to hold some meeting, right? And so this is a good forum to practice. So if you want to, I mean, there's another class right after this where you do, I think it's called presentations or something like that. And so you get a lot of practice there. But what I used to do is allow my class to come up, and when it's their turn to read, they read directly from the book. They give eye contact and what have you, because when your presentation is graded at the end, the class will grade it, and there are different categories, and one of the categories is how was the content? Did it tie in? Did you understand? Did you leave with more knowledge? Did they give eye contact? Was it relevant? You know, some people would be familiar because they were in my previous classes and they would know. Right? Cohen know what I'm talking about. And he know how harsh the class is. Like, hello, come on in. Sure, excuse me 1 second. Sure. No problem at all. So let me just give you these handouts, and then you can sign the register. There you go. Okay. Yeah, so Cohen can tell all of us that how sometimes I have to give, some people is give everybody 100%, and then some classes, Cohen was in that class where I had to give extra points because they graded so hard that it was unbelievable. Like people, I had people who should have gotten like 80 and 90% failing. You all know I have a little spill. Yeah, 80 and 90%. Some persons should have had a higher grade, and people gave them like 30 and 40%. Okay, so sometimes you have some people who working with you, and then some people harder than the teacher. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, but we'll make sure that everybody gets all the points that they deserve. All right? Okay, let me just get some tissue for this mess I just made. I'll be right back. Yeah, so any questions so far? Any comments? No? Okay, everybody has those phones hidden away, far, far away, so we don't get distracted. No comment, there you go. Okay, that's fine. Hopefully by the 5th or 6th class, I'll have some comment and some feedback. Hello. Hey, how you doing? I just made a big mess. But see, these my past students, and when they see them, they say, "Oh God, not this bullet again." These my good students, though, top of the class. Right, lady? So you can pair up with all the smartest people in the class. These two, because we do group work. So make sure they're good and familiar. They know how to do everything. They just get 200% on every test. You all make sure become friends with them. Get their numbers. Hang out with them on the weekend. Networking, that is. Okay? Because today in the Bahamas, when we want to move on up and we want to go to the next step, it's very good if we know somebody, right? And networking is like the key thing right now. If you're an unfamiliar face and you're applying for a job and 500 people applying, we can make your resume stand out. If all of us in here apply for the same job, what would be different about you?
If you're just going to resume alone?
All of us apply for the same job.
Yeah, corporate know networking thing.
Yeah. No, and not know me personally now, not as your cousin or we go to the same church or whatever, but professionally.
You'll favor me more, because I'm more than likely I'll be able to contact you and say, well, hey, or someone I know will be able to contact you and say, well, hey, look out for so and such and such.
Right.
And even though somebody else may have the same
qualifications
or maybe even more, you go by word of mouth for the most part.
Here it is, I have a self-reference, not just the generic reference from the pastor that say, oh, she's attending church every Sunday and I know her from a baby, right? Because anybody could get a reference letter. Mm-hmm. But when you have that hardcore, I know this person, like Cohen, I know Cohen, he's been in my class, I've taught him, he was very receptive, very impressive, very good grades. Right? So hire him. He's the supervisor right away. Right? Okay, so that word of mouth goes way further than helping you compete. So I always tell them, and they know, I always say, in fact, they can tell you what I say to join. Toastmasters, Kiwanis, what's the next one? Rotary. Yeah, those clubs. Toastmasters more.
So you push that one more.
More, okay. I'm not a part of any, I just push over because I know in the corporate world, you need to build your network. And normally your network is an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, a banker, who else? Real estate person, right? So that's who you need to build in your network. And especially if you're in the sales area, those people will, if somebody comes to buy a piece of property, of course they're gonna need a banker, right? And what they can say, oh, I know Cohen, he is my good banker, he worked this out for me, and here you go now. And I know when you working in the financial institutions, that's points, that's bonus at the end of the year, the more accounts that you bring in and stuff like that. And so that's why it's important to build your network. Not only so that you will be known in the corporate world, but also to help you, because a lot of people have targets, right? And this is, no man is an island. This is how you keep your targets going. Today I may have an accountant friend who bringing in some business, he'll make a referral to me, or the real estate, or the doctor, anybody, okay? And that's how you survive in the corporate world, okay? So just a little tidbit, all right? You know, the class is from 6 to 9, but we can all vote and say if we want to get out at 8:30, it's a 30-minute break, or if we want to take the break halfway through. So by the show of hands, halfway through, at the end of class, we get out 8:30? Everybody? Okay, good. All right, so for the most part, that's about it. Okay, so how the class is going to work is we'll do pre-work, which means we have an outline, there's an agenda that tells us what chapter we'll be covering. Could they give you some papers? They may be a little wet. Okay, there you go. And sign the register, please, yeah. So what we do is we read the chapter first at home, and then we come and we have a discussion about the topic. Okay, a lot of times when we have discussions, nobody read the chapter, nobody knows what we're talking about, okay? And a lot of times we have to read the book. I've had millions and thousands and millions of complaints about, oh, we just reading the book, there's no value added, blah, blah, blah. But if I stand up here and I have a conversation and nobody knows what I'm talking about, is that any value added? Okay, so everybody has to do their part. You have to read the chapter, we'll be having discussions. And if you didn't read the chapter, try to come to class like 30 minutes be ahead, you know, sit down, relax, and try to take it in. Okay, because that's the only way you're going to understand. All right, I'm going to try and keep the homework at a minimum, because if you look at the last page, and you can read the agenda in your own time and ask any questions if you want to. Okay? But if you look at it, we're going to have 2 quizzes. We're going to have a midterm as well as a mentoring presentation. Now, normally, if this was in the spring or the fall, we would have a full-fledged mentoring program and mentoring project. But because somebody normally comes in and from the community and talks to us about mentoring, but because it's summer, it's 7 weeks, we're going to cut it short. So what's going to happen is, if we look at this last paper, it'll tell us, or the one sheet, it'll tell us exactly what the presentation is about and what you're expected to do. So since today is our first day and we didn't have our books, we will go through exactly what we need to do for this presentation. It's going to be due on Monday, June 17th, and that's the Monday before the last class. Okay? So who wants to read? Anybody? Just go ahead. Very good.
We're reading what exactly?
Key ingredients from the mentorship presentation. If you look, it's all the way to the bottom. We have 2 quizzes. We see the 2 quizzes on the agenda.
Yes,
And then we see the midterm, and the midterm is on Monday, May 27th. And then we see at the bottom, just before the final, good day. Right here now. Right before the final, we see we have a mentoring presentation, right? And so this single sheet is going to tell us what needs to be done for the mentoring presentation. We good, or? All right, so normally if you miss a class or if you come in late, whatever, you buddy up, everybody exchange numbers, get to know somebody, do a WhatsApp, do whatever is convenient for you, but definitely get to know somebody who you can find out exactly what you missed, what homework there was, if there's anything you need to prepare for the next class, right? So we read the chapters before we come. Then we can have discussions when we reach. We good? And we see where the quizzes, we are on the agenda. We see that there are 2 quizzes, a midterm, and a presentation. And it's only 7 weeks, so all of this is gonna be very, very quick. Okay, and the quizzes, it's just to ensure that you are studying, because like I say, you know, we all are busy, we have jobs, we get overwhelmed. It's a lot of reading, and we just wanna make sure that everybody is on the same page with the first quiz, and then definitely before the midterm, because we want 100% passing grades for everybody, right? And then we want to pair some persons up if you do need help. And this is the perfect class for it, because it's about supervision, it's about taking somebody under your belt, taking a team under your belt, and leading them to the next level, right? Okay. Everybody just looking at me blank. Interactive, talk back to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk back to me, good, good. I'm making sense? If I going too fast, slow me down.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so we talking about the mentoring project now. Okay, and the lady at the back? Very good, thank you. Normally all the people sit in the front to read, but go right ahead and tell us what this mentoring presentation about.
So the first point is the purpose. This relationship is a high priority for
So
both.
start at the top, please, where it says read page 23.
Okay, so read page 23 to 24 on mentoring others. It's a 6-week process. Select a person from your work, your home, your church, etc. that you can mentor. Complete a 200 to 300 word essay documenting your experience as a mentor. And we're using the below as a guide. So the first point is the purpose. This is the relationship is a high priority for both of you. You consider being a mentor as one of the main purposes of your life. You and your mentee are clear on why you're together and the reasons you're meeting. You've discussed and agreed upon what you'll work on, and you'll recognize when you've completed your purpose. You feel good about the focus of your relationship and what you're doing in it. From time to time, you check in to see if you should change that purpose or focus in some way. When you've accomplished the purpose of your relationship, you're willing to see the relationship shift focus or perhaps end for the time being.
Okay, so we clear so far on exactly what has to be done. This is our first week. So by our second week, we want to make sure, so by next week, Monday, we want to come and say, I've selected this person. You don't have to give me a name, but just say, she is from my church, he is from my church, he is from whom. Because, you know, we have younger cousins, brothers or sisters. We have people at work that need help, maybe a new employee, maybe somebody who just came into the department. Or we have like outreach programs at church. Maybe you, a Sunday school, you could probably volunteer for a few weeks just to, you know, meet somebody and find out. But there's a lot of people out there who needs help and who is hurting, or who just needs some help finding a job, who needs some help on the job, right? And so that's what we want to do. We want to reach out to the community. We want to pour out I read something that said, the best thing to give somebody is a part of yourself. Okay, so we can use this as like our give back. If everybody already do their charity for the year? No? I mean, people normally do, so you could count this as your charity for the year, that you would have given a part of yourself, your knowledge, your understanding, your whatever it is, and you share with somebody to help them get to another level in their personal life, their spiritual life, or their work life.
So we pretty much identifying something, maybe a weakness that someone has, and then we give, I guess we mentor them to the point where they overcome that weakness.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. Okay, suppose it's somebody new in your department, and you may not necessarily be the person training them, or you know that, like you said, is a weakness. I may be on the teller lineup with you, but I always balance it late. So perhaps you use balance early, and you could come next to me and say, hey, these are some tips. This is what I do. You know, this is how I get out on time. This is how I make sure the line keeps going. You know? Or, I mean, in the last class, a lady said that she has a teenage daughter, and for the last 3 or 4 years, they just don't speak. They live under the same roof, and she is the mother. They just say yes, mom, no, mom, like that, but they don't have a relationship. And she went online and she read that most teenage daughters when they hit 13, they don't have good relationships with their mother. So she used this experience to mentor her teenage daughter, and at the end of the class, she brought her teenage daughter to the presentation, and it was a very good experience. Where now they talk, they do things together, they go out, and the mother learned to respect more of what the teenager did, rather than just telling her, no, you can't do this, no, you know, shouldn't do it. You know, we kind of old school, be like things the way, you know, she still disciplines her, but they are on one page. And she said, thank you very much for this experience. She, you know, she didn't know it would be so personal, but, you know, it helped her. You know, somebody else helped a teenage girl who was pregnant. You know, she went down to the pregnancy school, and she gets offered her assistance. She got her back into school, because some of them don't have to go to school. She got her back into school after she had the baby, and she documented that whole experience about what she was experiencing at home, what she could do better, and, you know, give her some tips to say, don't give up on school, go to VI when you finish grade 12, get the baby proper care, proper parenting, stuff like that. Okay? So you don't have to make it so emotional. A lot of people just help somebody in their department because they felt like they were next in line in their department. And so they spoke to their supervisor. They said, I have this project. This person, you know, when you have a group of people, you know, when I used to have tellers, I used to have 10 at a time. And when you have a group, you'll always have high, medium, and low performers. You have to be very, very special to have all performing at a high level at one time. And if you do have all performing at a high level at one time, what that means, all of them next in line to be the supervisor, right? Mm-hmm. So therefore you could lose them anyway. So you go into your department and you see who needs help with what. Because in this, you know, circle or this department, we only as strong as our weakest link. Right? So whoever taking the longest to balance, whoever stomping the things wrong, whoever making us stay back longer, or, you know what I mean, just give some tips. If the person is receptive, if they don't have a problem with you documenting it, if they will go on this journey with you, then that's all it takes. And you don't need to give me any names or say who you could make up an alias, but the whole point is that you go out into the community and you make a difference. And you help somebody. Okay? Because when you become the supervisor, this is what you become. Okay? Because supervisors are the connection between top management and entry-level employees. Do you ever see the CEO saying, I come in and have a meeting with the tellers? Mm-hmm. Or what meeting they have once a month? Or management meeting, right? Yeah. Management meeting, that means management who should be supervisors or coming to tell the senior employees exactly what's going on in the company, what is right, what is wrong, what needs to change. So you would be that liaison person between executive management and entry level. And if you really want to make a difference and change some things and do what is right, you have to be in touch, right? You have to know how to care for these people, and so they trust you. How to be, you don't have to like these people, but you have to be professional, and you have to try to treat everybody fairly. Okay? And that's how you build a good department, or an effective one. Because nobody won't feel like, you know, in my last class, when we got to a chapter about favoritism and how, you know, the supervisor it's nothing wrong with being the supervisor's pet. But if the other people in your department feel like this person is favoritized, or they could get away with things that we can't get away with, low morale, low performance, division in your department. So these are the type of things that we want to, you know, make sure the human factor is always there for everybody. Okay? I was at Royal Bank for 16 years. I had some people that loved me. And I had some people that hate my guts. And that's how it is when you know, so you have to know where you are at what time, but you have to be able to get along with everybody. And to be successful, even the most difficult person, you have to know how to deal with and make them feel like they are treated fairly. And treat them fairly, not only make them feel that way, but treat them fairly. Okay, very, very hard to do. Because we are humans, and, you know, so less of us to work and more of, I work for the Royal Bank of Canada. These are their policies, this is their vision, this is their belief. right? Less of me and how I feel. Okay? And so everybody, to me, I feel like, you know, that you supervise, you have a responsibility to them to get them to the next level. Just like your supervisor has a responsibility to you. Okay? And so this little process, this mentoring process, will help us, you know, to understand when somebody has a different point of view. Understand how to deal with difficult. There are some people in the world that are just difficult, and help us to, you know, deal with difficulties. Because one girl did another girl who she just felt that, oh, we graduated from high school together. I came to Biff's. I getting my associates. I doing this and that, and she just hanging out on the blocks, and so I can't associate myself with her. So I don't know what it was. Halfway through the course, she decided to switch that. I shouldn't think that I'm better than this person, but this is exactly the person I should help. Okay? And so this process should help all us have a hands-on experience on what it is when we take somebody under our responsibility and we're responsible for their performance or responsible to get them to the next level in any avenue of their life that they need help. Okay? So we understand why. It makes sense? Because sometimes we do these things and we don't know why and it don't make sense. We good? Everybody on board? Yeah, I don't see smiles though. Everybody's still looking at me. Okay, one smile. There we go. You're getting there. Okay, so let's finish. We understand the purpose. So we know why we're doing this. Okay, good. So then communication.
So you communicate in the ways you both prefer, like in person, via phone or email or mail. You get back to your mentee in the time frame you've agreed upon. Your mentee does the same. The communication between you adds up to at least 1 or 2 hours a month and is frequent enough for both of you. You're an effective listener and you remember what your mentee tells you. You ask appropriate questions and your mentee responds. You share information about yourself. You monitor your nonverbal language to be sure it's conveying what you want it to. You help your mentee recognize how he or she is communicating, and where appropriate, you make suggestions for improvement.
Okay, so we just want to pay attention because, like I say, a lot of people went out into the personal areas, like she went to the school for teenage pregnancy. And could you imagine, you know, you get somebody to trust you, and they say, oh, I was doing something wrong, and blah, blah, yeah, expression like, oh my God, how, you know, you almost come across as judgmental. So you want to be careful. You know, if you want somebody to trust you and you really want somebody to open up and tell you the truth, it may be overwhelming to you because you could probably say, at this age, I would have never dreamt of something like that. But try your best to contain yourself. Or if you know that you can't deal with stuff like that, don't even go there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Stay to the basic stuff. But if you do find yourself mentoring somebody, you know, be conscious of your facial expressions, your responses, and you know, your condemnation of them or condemning them to hell because, you know, they do something wrong. Okay? But of course you do say, okay, the Bible says, you know, or we shouldn't do this, or this is how I would have done it. So be careful too with your responses. You know? Like, oh my God, how could you? Like, my mother would have killed me, or, you know? So, yeah, be cognizant of your expressions as well as your responses. Okay, and always put yourself in that person's position because we all do some bad stuff back in the day, right? That now we've been holy for the last 10 years and we forget about them. But just think about it being you. Think about you getting comfortable enough to open up to somebody and sharing your deepest, darkest secrets. And if you would want to be condemned to hell, right? Okay.
The trust between you is growing. You welcome and keep in confidence the information your mentee shares with you. Your mentee knows he or she can count on you to be honest yet safe and to follow through on your promises. You avoid any trust-breaking behaviors such as canceling appointments without compelling reasons, talking negatively about others, or unfairly criticizing your mentee. You're increasingly sharing more of yourself and are becoming less guarded than when you first got together.
Okay, so now what has happened, especially in our institutions at review time? The minute somebody who we know, on our team or on the next side walk out, you pick up the who would she get, who would she say, whatever. And that's a form of harassment. A lot of people are banks putting, I know when I was at Royal, they put a whole slew of, what they call it now, the code of conduct out, where they talk about harassment, where they talk about this, gossiping and what all of us do. Okay, and so as supervisors, we want to make sure getting to these positions, we don't want gossip. We don't want to make anybody feel, out of place, like they don't belong and they're not a part of the team. Okay, and definitely when they do have private things happen, things may happen at home. They may have to leave early, what have you, and they don't see people. Why am I supposed to have to leave early? Well, what happened? No, we want to cut all of that out. It's very hard as humans. And all of us do it, right? But we have to be aware that one day it'll be us. It'll be our turn. We may have the emergency. Something may be wrong with us. We don't want that as we walk through the door or walk out the door, right? Okay, good.
Your meetings and other interactions are moving along at the right pace. You meet often enough to suit you both, and those sessions are usually the right length. You both like where you're meeting. You're aware of the 4 stages of formal mentoring: planning, building, relationship/negotiating agreement, developing the mentee or maintaining momentum, and ending the formal mentoring part of the relationship, and are helping guide your mentee through them. You like how you operate as a mentoring pair and check in with each other to see if you're both satisfied. You're helping your mentee identify appropriate life goals and build competencies to reach those goals. You help him or her identify interesting learning experiences and process the results of these together. Your mentee has made significant progress towards the goals and starting to meet with you. You're making significant progress in your ability to mentor. Feedback. You asked your mentee how he or she wanted positive or corrective feedback from you. You're doing your best to give this feedback in an honest and tactful manner and as frequently as agreed upon. You give your mentee much more positive reinforcement than you give correction. When you give your mentee feedback, you observe how he or she applies it and, if necessary, mention points again. You invited him or her to give you positive and corrective feedback on how you're doing as a mentor. When you receive feedback, you're non-defensive and take immediate steps to apply it.
Okay, so this constructive feedback from your mentee, you must pull it. You have some good information, but you just talk too long. Cut it short. I'm mad and say, okay, well that's it. I wouldn't share no more knowledge and, doing my head and snapping my finger. Right? All of us is do that, or just me? All of us, we dead mad. I take all my time for 6 weeks to share with this girl and this what she can tell me. No, so constructive criticism, not just, you know what I mean? Don't just glorify me. Tell me what I do right and do wrong so I can be better. Okay? So do we understand how to document all of this?
Yes, sir.
We understand? So when we document that, these are some questions to the bottom that you could answer in your paper, but you will present it to the class. And then these are the topics. You talk about the purpose, why I chose this person, why I'm doing this, and why I felt the need to, select this person, how we communicated, how we build trust, the process, the progress, and then the feedback. Okay, and like I said, just to add some meat to it, you can answer some of these questions to the bottom if they're applicable. Okay? Well, you look so excited. You're just ready to go home and jump right on this, right?
I think everybody mind's just going. I'm trying to think.
Y'all just come give me some questions, Cohen. Tell me what you think about this. You have time for this, Cohen? I know you're a busy man. You have time for this? But you happy that you could give a piece of you back to the community, and out there a lot is going on. A lot of people need adults, not only young children, but even adults need help. Okay, and it's just good practice to, be empathetic, to take somebody under your wing to help them get to the next step. Because as a supervisor, that's what your expectation is. A lot of times we just focus on work. But if you want to truly be effective, you teach somebody everything you know, because then that means now you're ready for the next. And somebody should be there waiting to take your position as you move on. That's really how it should happen. It really don't happen that way. People just hide everything. They don't want you to know. They feel like I can take this job, then I go, you know, or everybody I teach something to, they trying to take my job. And some people will take your job, but something else will be ready for you, or something else that means you're ready for the next step. It's no use you stay in one position for 20 years, you know. Okay. So any questions about this? We see when the due date is. Okay, and so we don't have no issues.
Just hypothetically speaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm thinking of the whatever you want to call it, when you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens hypothetically if I find someone who I deem needs to be mentored or what have you, and 4 weeks into this process, they're unable to retain any of the information I'm giving them, and they're just unwilling to better themselves despite my efforts.
Okay, so we don't live it perfect. We will. Some people will have that experience where they would have given so much and people are just not receptive. You can't make somebody, you just document your experience. I don't expect everybody to come up here and say, oh, it was wonderful. They took everything that I said and they changed. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, so, but that don't mean we don't still try. We still, no matter what. Because if we talk to 10,000 people and, like they say in church, if we 10,000 people don't get saved, but that one person gets saved, there you go. We going with that. Okay, so how many of us? What, 12? Out of 12 of us, if one person we touch and we make a difference and we better our communities, we did what we supposed to do. Okay, I'll be satisfied with that. But most of y'all, I mean, normally you have one or two that don't have a successful story, but for the most part, people are out there, they are hurting and they appreciate that somebody cared enough to even, give their time. Because I always used to say when I was at Royal Bank, every time they say, sell a ticket, I could buy it. Every time they say, give money, I just sponsor you. But I never, ever, ever had time. I always had an excuse when it came to time, right? To sit down with somebody, to help them with their own work. That's very, very bad of me. So that was something I had to overcome. I had to say, no, yeah, I can still give you some money. I can still make that donation, but I can sit here with you, and I could be a part of the JA. I could be a part of the, what else the workers sponsor, Royal Bank did, Toastmasters, they did a JA club, they did, and it was the same people every single time. Because we too busy, in the corporate world, we just don't have time for that. So that was something I had to overcome to not always put my hand in my pocket and say, I can pay, but give time. Okay? So we good?
Yeah.
All right. We all happy that we can do this, or we was like, I don't want nobody. I don't have time for this. How we feel about this? That's why we're in this class, right? We want to leave here with more knowledge than we came with, and we want to have some experience in this. This experience should help us. So when we get in those corporate offices, we know what to do and how to do it. Right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Okay, so that's one sheet. Any questions on the quizzes? On the midterm? On the final?
We're trying to get done questions, but the first quiz on May 15th.
Okay.
We'll be quizzed on the chapters that we've already read, the 1, 9, 3, and 12, right?
Right.
Because you have here chapter 8, that's saying that week we're gonna,
Yeah, right.
that
So
we're studying that
the quiz
week.
will be for 30 minutes, and then we'll go
Okay,
into
okay,
chapter 8.
okay.
Right. And you made the question I expected is, why we ain't going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Anybody wanted to know why we going from 1 to 9, then from 3 to 12, and no?
Connect.
They go hand in hand.
Okay. Oh, okay. You're a smart one. Okay, good. They go hand in hand, and I used to go from one, and then I realized that for you to complete this project effectively, like all the time when I was in college, they give you a project from the end of the book, and then you never read the end of the book, and so by the time you finish the project and you want it, and you say, oh my Lord, look how we're supposed to do it, all answers to the end of the book. So that's why I do it, so you'll have some information to help you all do it.
Makes sense.
Percentage of the quizzes and the final exam
What?
What percentage?
Okay, so flip right over and the percentages are there. On page 2, it says final exam is 60%. So make sure everybody shows up for the final exam. You can retake the final or the midterm. The midterm is only worth 20%, so I don't ever recommend anybody to retake the midterm. Save that for your final, right? Because you only can retake one. And the quiz, you out of 2, you get the highest grade for both grades. So you get 100% and 90, you get 200s. Okay? And then the project, if you don't complete the project, you get out the presentation, you get an incomplete. So you can get 100% and every quiz and the final. If you don't complete the presentation, you still get an incomplete. Okay? You good? Alright. And the quizzes shouldn't be more than 15 questions. Just on the chapters that we covered, just to make sure that we halfway through. I don't want somebody to go all the way to the final and say, okay, I can't do this. Okay, so from your quiz grade, you should know where you're at. Definitely by the midterm, you should know where you are. If I need some more help, if I need to pay up, if somebody needs to mentor me right in this class, how about that? Okay, because I know everybody busy and it can take some time. You might not have time. So, and it is short, 7 weeks. So you could take somebody right in the class. Okay, if you feel like they need help. Not two 100% people helping each other now. Okay? Okay, clear as mud? You good? Okay, clear as mud. So far. We getting there. Okay, good. And so because I knew normally everybody doesn't have their book, and we want to read first so we know what I stand up here talking about and that we can participate in the discussion and have a conversation. So that's what we'll do for homework. We'll go. Of course, we have to read. I'm not certain now because this is a new edition, but it used to be on page 23 and 24, and before the end of the class, I will look it up on mentoring because it says read pages 23 and 24, right?
It's the same.
It's the same? Okay, great. So you read for homework pages 23 and 24, and what we supposed to cover next week? Let's see. Okay, yeah, and so, yeah, for one, you'll have to read pages 1 and 9. Chapters 1 and 9, sorry. Yeah. And definitely, if you feel the chapter is too long, there's a summary page after every chapter. Definitely read the summary page so you can capture everything that you need to go and pay attention to. Okay? And I know reading is very tough, but if you're in this program, yeah, you have to read. It's a lot of reading, but it'll be beneficial to you at the end. Okay? Okay, good. So we can start with this. We normally have, which one? Okay. We normally have, we write a paper on this, but because we only doing 7 weeks, what we'll do is perhaps just have a discussion, and based on our discussion, I'll determine if, we'll come back and expand it a little further, or if the discussion here is satisfied. But normally that's homework, and I don't want to overwhelm you with homework. So I normally give this and say in 2 weeks you bring it back, but in 2 weeks we kind of have a quiz. So I'll see after we read this today how it goes, okay, and what we learn from it. Okay, and normally this is a part of your midterm. These questions, the same discussion that we have, is a part of your midterm. Hey, how are you? Good. You had a little spill, so excuse us.
Thank you.
And there's a register circulating. Okay, and you see, we have somebody already to mentor. Somebody got to fill her in, so y'all grab her right away. Somebody fill her in, get her up to date. Okay, good. So we want to pull this out. Cohen, you won't see this before, right? Okay, good. I'm going to cross the classes over. Okay, so who are nice volunteer? We want everybody to participate, because if y'all look at the grading, do y'all see 10% for participation? Everybody can need that little 10%. Right? There you go. I can remember who answers up. You can need that little 10%. And when you go to Toastmasters and Rotary and Kiwanis, and you come back and you stand in front of the class and you tell us all about your wonderful experience, you get another little 5. So let me know. Okay, so you have 7 weeks. Pardon?
And on this?
No, that's just a little extra on the side. That's a little on the low. On the low, okay? But you get the little extra 5% for going out there and networking, because that's going to help you in your corporate career. That's going to help you when the position comes available. And Miss Bullet is the HR manager, and she say, oh, yes, I know, let me see who name this is now. I know Monka, yeah, she was in my class, very, very intelligent, you know, or she didn't miss any classes, and good, very attentive, right? That could go a long way. You have 500 resumes. I don't have time to go through 500 resumes. But I skimming through, and I know this name, I know that name, whatever. No favoritism, because I have to make sure Monka qualified. Once she qualified, that's my person. That's what happens. Okay, that's really what happens. All right, and people are more comfortable with who they know, who they could get a personal reference on. Okay. All right, good. So we haven't. Somebody else getting there 10% first class. Go girl, go. Go.
We reading from this, right?
Yeah, remarks. Yeah, and so we're gonna read this. Everybody's gonna tell me which part sticks with them or inspires them the most, or if they inspire at all, if they believe it, if they don't believe it. You know, we have so many different views, and nobody is wrong, everybody is right. So pick out as we go through it, underline, pick out the piece that you're inspired by or you believe, and then you'll share with us why. Okay.
Remarks.
And this is where it comes from, so that's just the introduction.
So I read this?
Yeah, you could read, so we could know, like, why we reading this, and what this is.
Okay. So the class of 2013 at the 39th commencement ceremony of the College of the Bahamas, Tuesday, June 4th, 2013 at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. respectively. Venue, Bahamas Faith Ministries International, Carmichael Road. Participants, the faculties of Social and Educational Studies and Pure and Applied Sciences will attend the 10 a.m. ceremony. And the faculties of Business, Liberal and Fine Arts, and the Institute of Culinary and Hospitality Management will attend the 4 p.m. ceremony. Theme, Embracing Education, Exceeding Expectations, and Executing Excellence. The occasion. The awards ceremony marks an important milestone in the lives of the graduates, as some of them will enter the world of work for the first time. Others will resume their working lives with expectations of advancement, and others will go on to pursue further studies.
Okay, so this is just a graduation commencement speech to graduation back in 2013. Okay?
Presenter, H. Gregory J. Bethel, President of Fidelity Bank, Bahamas Limited. I address our graduates today as the desperately needed future leaders in the Bahamas. You cannot fail in this new role that awaits you. You cannot run away from this responsibility. That is why you are here today. That is why you have invested time and money, made sacrifices, and disciplined yourselves in the pursuit of knowledge at this great institution, the College of the Bahamas. You are the future leaders of the families, businesses, political organizations, government departments or ministries, professional firms, the institutions responsible for the education of our nation, and the Christian church or other religious organizations of the Bahamas.
Okay, are we these future leaders as well?
Yes.
Is that's why we're here, right? Okay, so this is very applicable to us.
Your nation needs you to live a life of excellence and significance, and to function at the highest level of life, leadership. I wish to challenge you, the future leaders of the Bahamas, and address 2 topics which relate to our theme. Why leaders fail, what matters most in our first life. I chose to challenge you with regard to these 2 issues because the families, institutions, and communities of our nation are in peril.
Do we agree?
Yes.
Okay.
We need you to rescue them. We need you to embrace leadership. embrace being persons of positive influence, and embrace the task of influencing people to do what they ought to do rather than what they want to do. We will not stop this decline as decay in our families, institutions, and communities unless we have more leaders who are successful in their personal pursuits and are focused on what matters most, rather than the pursuit of popularity, power, possessions, praise, and privilege. Whether you are aware of it or not, you are the leaders of the next generation who must take action to halt this perilous decline, attack the decay, and do all that is necessary to improve the situation. Please connect the dots. I am compelling you to now focus on leadership and what really matters most in the first life. It is critical that you avoid deception, distractions, delay, and denial. Why leaders fail our nation. There are 7 basic reasons why leaders fail or become ineffective. Failure to be tenacious in the pursuit of more knowledge. Failure to read and research. Isolation. Lack of accountability to trustworthy advisors with character. Failure to develop a team around them and successors to carry on their legacy in the noble and biblical purposes to which they devote their lives. Failure to adapt and change as situations and people around them change. Arrogance and pride, the spirit that makes one overestimate oneself or herself, underestimate the value of others, and become insensitive. Excesses, popularity, power, possession, pleasure, praise, and privilege. Ignorance of or deviation from and blatant disobedience of the principles, precepts, and commandments in the Holy Scriptures, the Word of God. Failure to dedicate themselves to what matters most in the first life. I appeal to you to live a life of significance and excellence. Be a leader who avoids failure. This is the noble purpose for embracing education, exceeding expectations, and executing excellence. Again, I am calling you to live life at the highest level, become an effective leader. What matters most in the first life? There are 5 great issues which determine whether or not we live a life of significance and excellence, or waste, a life that matters or matters not, a life lived at the highest level, the life of an effective leader. You have to get these 5 things right, or you will have no significant legacy. For example, you who also live a life of significance and excellence because of your influence, example, involvement, and leadership. The 5 most important issues of life are: 1. How much money you have, how you got your money, and how you use your money. The sooner you have enough money, the sooner you can retire and do what you really want to do without the constraints of a master. I define retirement as the stage in life when you wake up in the morning without the yoke of a master and do what you want to do, when you want to do it, with whom you want to do it, for how long you want to do it, how you want to do it, because you have the money to do it. We all should work hard at an occupation so we can get money, save it, and invest so we can start working on someone else's job, in someone else's business or organization, so we can release all of our potential into a pursuit and endeavor to touch the lives of our people our way. Save and invest more, and use your time wisely to do the things that will allow you to retire sooner and achieve your other goals sooner, including the more effective use of your knowledge, money, time, talents, natural and supernatural gifts, for noble purposes like improving the lives of others as you seek to influence rather than impress. This calls for change and a plan, goals, a budget, and a financial advisor to help you, keep you accountable, and measure your progress. Network. You must commit time and effort to financial planning. As you set your goals and prepare your monthly budget, consider how you can help others. We live in an era when too many people are self-absorbed, self-centered, and utterly selfish. Don't go there. When you come face to face with your Creator, do so having lived a significant life of achievement, success, and contribution to the lives of the hopeless and helpless. Dedicate your time and money to noble pursuits greater than yourself and seek to help others with resources, hope, guidance, influence, and useful information. I also have a word of caution: avoid debt. Debt reduces your options in life, the joy in life, and delays your retirement. Avoid debt by debt. Avoid the debt trap. Never borrow money to buy pleasure or possessions which decline in value, or popularity, seeking to impress others. Borrow only to buy that which will increase in value or increase your cash flow and ability to save and invest. Example, debt consolidation. Do not let the good marketing skills of any company entice you to spend money on that which is neither important nor urgent. How much knowledge you have. The more knowledge you have, the more money you are able to make and keep. The more knowledge you have, the more good decisions you are likely to make. The more knowledge you have, the better the quality of people you can attract to you. The more knowledge you have, the greater your influence. The more knowledge you have, the more people you can help, and the more opportunities you will have to capitalize in our community. The more knowledge you have, the better equipped you will be to build the lives of your children, your family, and the other people you lead, influence, or mentor. The more knowledge you have, the better positioned you should be to borrow money for noble purposes. Always be in pursuit of more knowledge. Use your time wisely so you have more time to pursue knowledge from the people who have it. Read relevant books. Read the newspapers, local and international. Take a course and attend seminars. Spend time with people who know more than you do. Watch educational programs on TV rather than junk. Understand what men with power in Asia are doing so you can benefit from their endeavors and not be harmed by them. Visit China and India if you can, because they will rule the planet in short order. The more knowledge you have, the more money you are able to earn and access. Plato once said, "Wise men talk because they have something profound to say. Fools because they have to say something." Be sure to apply your knowledge and work harder than everyone else. Work smart too. Use your knowledge of technology to be more efficient rather than to attract attention to yourself or for amusement and entertainment. How healthy you are. The healthier you are due to what you eat, how much you exercise, how much you rest, how you use your time and your sexuality choices, the more energy you have, attractive your appearance, money you are able to earn, people you are able to attract to you for noble purposes, years you live, the more likely you are to retire and finish strong. High energy, good-looking people with good hygiene and a positive attitude make more money. High energy people are more productive, do more good, and have more accomplishments. Healthy people avoid burnout, sickness, high medical bills, and premature death. They feel better and don't get depressed for long. Invest time in exercise, recreation, and relaxation. Who you have relationships with. Who you have relationships with determines how much money you earn and keep, how soon you can retire, the value and purpose of your life, the level of your knowledge, the level of your happiness and joy, the contents of your character, the level of your success, whether or not you advance on your job, and if and when you have children, and the quality of their lives and their future, whether or not you are distracted or deceived, and therefore the achievement of your goals is delayed or derailed. When you die, where you go in the afterlife. It is important to allocate time to build your important relationships. If and when you have children, remember that rules without relationship lead to rebellion. If and when you have children, remember that the relationships formed for the creation, development, and nurturing of children are the most sacred and the most challenging in terms of leadership. Get it right for the sake of our nation. Wisdom and good judgment. Wisdom comes from God. It is the ability to acquire knowledge and use your knowledge to make good and beneficial decisions to benefit others. You can ask God for wisdom if you have a relationship with Him. The level of your wisdom determines the quality of your relationships, the amount of money you earn and keep, how well you use your time, and if you will finish strong and live a life of excellence and significance as an effective leader. Conclusion. You can have a great life, make more money, pursue noble purposes, retire sooner, and live a life of excellence and significance as you achieve the highest level of life, leadership, if you choose to. None of us are perfect. We all have weaknesses. We all have a lot of work to do to improve our lives. But despite our weaknesses, flaws, and sin, we can resolve today to begin to change and to seek the more excellent thing. So I challenge and urge you to embrace education and the pursuit of knowledge, exceed expectations, and execute your work and endeavors with excellence as an outstanding leader in the institutions of our nation, especially our families.
Okay. You digest all of that?
I gotta read it again.
You gotta read it again. Okay, but which part popped out to you? Which part do you believe or you don't believe? You wanna argue it, or you say, no, this ain't right? You have a part? Go ahead.
In the conclusion, where he said, my thing about it is, when he said, you can have a great life, make more money, pursue noble purposes, retire sooner, and have a life of excellence and significance as you achieve the highest level of life leadership, if you choose it. My thing is, after you achieving all of this, one day you are going to be dust. So some persons may argue and say, I don't need that.
Okay, go ahead.
So some persons may argue and say, I don't need that. You know, persons, for example, they say, okay, you can live in a mansion and I can live in a wooden house. But at the end of the day, we still going in the same type of food.
I agree. Because the only thing we promise is death, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We know how we came, but we don't know how we're going, we don't know where we're going. So that's my argument to for persons who look at it from a deaf perspective and saying that I could have all these wealth and riches and knowledge and education, but then at the end of the day, then what?
Okay, but a great life means something different to all of us, right? A life of excellence means something different, and a life of significance. You can't put a price tag on that. You can't say I might think a big house. I live an excellent life.
The key to all of that is with that you'll be comfortable in that.
Right, yeah, but comfortable on what you want. If I have a happy, I don't need a big mansion, but if I have a happy home where all of us love each other and we sit to the table every night and have dinner, I happy every night that my children come home and have dinner, because home is still a place of comfort. Some people wish they could get a phone call from their children. You see what I mean? So success means something different to everybody. Okay? And so that's what I want your topic to be on. I want you to tell us what success means to you, and what it is to be successful, and to tell me what a great life would be for you. Okay? And so you will come back and you will present us in 2 weeks on being successful. Good, very good. Thank you for speaking up. Everybody got a chance, not just you. Okay? Because remember now, when we mentoring, we have to have sufficient knowledge to share, and we're here now to learn more, right? So we want to be able to take an experience from here and pass it on to our mentee. Right? So very, very excellent.
There's a portion that stood out to me, and I know it's like, remember that rules without relationship lead to rebellion. And it speaks to today's society. You have, like I'm a young mommy, but my mommy too was young, not very young, but she is my friend, but I know rules, she would kick me down. But at the end of the day, I still can sit down and speak to her, but then you have some parents out there creating this military life, or want to say you can't do this, you can't do that, but the life you live in.
Right.
And then the children, you know, they tend to rebel against them and can't wait to leave home because you don't have an example to lead by. So
Right.
So that's the portion that stood out to me.
Okay, so what your topic would be that you would write on, because I feel that our parents were too strict and we too slack. That's my personal feeling. And I think we, again, all of this rebelliousness that happening in school, it starts at home.
Mm-hmm.
If you spare a rod, you spoil a child, and then it goes out to the community. You don't think so?
I don't think that, me as a parent, I don't think that I'm slack.
Okay.
I feel
No,
that
I talking about the
Generally,
majority,
yeah.
when I look at
This
all of
generation
Bahamians,
now.
so when I look at the
Not
nation as a whole, I don't think I
Half
slack
up.
either, but I can't just say they slack.
Yeah.
This
We
whole,
all-
this
we all want
generation,
to put on it.
yeah, this just my view and your view different. That generation was too strict on us, too,
Abuse.
it was
Based
abusive,
on women, women.
right, and now, we just too,
Because
we
the
don't-
abuse
there's
is
no
being
balance,
abused.
right, so that could be your topic.
What's my topic
Rules
again?
without,
What's it say?
what is success?
Rules without relationship lead to
And,
rebellion.
yeah, right. Rules without regulation leads to rebellion.
Rules without relationship.
Relationship,
Okay.
right, yeah. Back to you still thinking?
I like him and on that.
Yeah, I
I have another one.
Okay, go ahead.
I found this to be a good point, especially when you're looking to be successful in achieving certain goals, who you have a relationship with. Reason being because a lot of time, whether it's your significant, your parents, your children, it determines on, your relationship determines on how far you're gonna go. If you were someone who everything is glamour, material things, and every year we have to go on 4 to 5 trips every year. And
A
I still
relationship
pay
ain't
rent,
working,
and I
yeah.
still, it has an effect on you because then all I do is spending money to go away and travel. I'm not saving towards getting my mortgage or my children's future for their college tuition or trust fund. So it speaks a lot on who you, like they said, who you have a relationship is very important when it comes to you actually being successful. And obtaining, when you say you have an objective, it's very important who you get a relationship with, or not even a relationship, but who you have in your circle.
Oh, right. Again, this network, the same network that we build in, right? We need like-minded people, the people who on the same page as us. You may have one outlier who good,
A
you
chicken
know what I
can't
mean?
hang with an eagle, an eagle can't hang with a chicken.
Yeah,
I like that.
right, you good. So, what's your name?
Kia, you
Okay,
call me
so,
Kia.
no, I need to, what's
It's
your
right.
full name?
My last name
Right,
is right.
right. Okay, I don't have even, boy
Yeah,
Kia,
both Kia, but I just
okay.
say Kia because no one's gonna really remember that.
Okay, so success and who you have relationships with. And we had a discussion the other day about being, the Bible talks about being unevenly yoked.
Unequally
Yeah.
yoked.
Yeah, but unequally yoked, right? But when you look at all these relationships, like, most people are unequally yoked. I can't think of anybody, you know what I mean? So I wonder. So think about, we just started the discussion of the women's ministries to go out to the youth, and we was talking, that was the topic, but I say if we speak honestly about it, we could quote some scripture, but if we really want substance, I don't know, nobody who really equally yoked, no couple, that's still together, yeah.
I know.
You know some people?
Why do you feel that
Equally
you could be?
Yeah.
I said I know someone.
And so why?
No,
you feel
but George,
that-
you know a lot of couples, or you know like one couple,
I know one.
one, right? So, right,
I know one. My mom and my dad.
okay,
They like 2 peas in a bowl.
okay.
They have the same. Well, at least. Cause they. Well, no. I
You have your topic already?
Mama.
Okay, so can you write on
But I
your mommy and your daddy being equally yoked and what makes them equally yoked?
Okay.
Okay, no, I just saying, so I can help some of y'all pick your topics, they're
No, but
different.
see, okay, cause like I already.
Hold on, first of all, what is topic is
Right.
really through now?
So whatever in this paper
Whatever
jumped out or stood out to you,
We have the right
we
people.
wanna go out there and do some research and see if we wanna fact check what he say. Does this make sense? Is it true?
So
And what we can learn from
nobody's
this.
exempt, is what you're saying.
Pardon?
Nobody is exempted, is what you're saying.
Yeah, no, yeah,
No,
everybody has to do it,
everybody has to
yeah,
do it.
everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for
What kind
jumping
of
on.
exemptions you want on the first class? This ain't customs, no, everybody gotta do it.
I have a point to add. I just feel like some people they're not mentally mature enough when it comes to choosing who they want to mentor them or who they want in their circle. So some people end up choosing the wrong people and they are not aware of who they're choosing because they actually want a relationship with someone. So you have to be mentally mature to choose the right relationship.
Okay, great, but let me ask you something about choosing the right people. I always say when somebody comes into your life, I don't normally think, it's a mistake. It's
No,
either
everyone is
reason
a
or
lesson.
season, right?
Everyone's a lesson.
But it's like a box cake. You have to add some eggs, you have to mix it up, you have to put in some water, and then you gotta bake it. And all of that is take time, right? So you invest that time first, then you make that decision. You know, be very good at pointing out, oh, you're not mature, you don't have this, you don't have that. But what about what they do have?
But you as a person have to know what you want.
Yeah, what you want, but you won't get, you think you will show up,
You
like I
won't know
say,
it at the beginning.
when you have employees, if you have 10 employees, you can have some high, medium, and low. And just like if you meet somebody for a relationship, that person, you have to build a lot of what you want. Because that person would have grown up for 30 years under this type of ruling, and you grew up one way. So to bring that together is very, very difficult. You see, and a lot of times I think we expect people to be ready-made. Come with the Iceland on you, I ready to eat, but it don't happen that way, right? So, which your topic could be about that? Since you said you agree, how what do we do about these relationships? Because relationships are, like he says, it could determine when you die, when you retire, what you have, what you don't have, and that's very true, right? So, how will we identify foundation and then build other ingredients and hopefully get near to what we want? Only 80%, you ain't get 100. I know we want 200%, but that ain't gonna happen, right? So what would your topic be? What's your name? Let me.
Person.
And they can do it.
Rules without relationship.
Remember what it was? What am I talking about?
No, you developing your topic now. You talking about relationship. You talking about.
So she take my relationship thing.
No. No, we need more than one point of
You don't
view.
get like two.
We need more than.
I'm trying to like pass it on.
Yeah, but I mean, just so you could have me one pager. So just so you could, half of your page could talk about success, the next part could talk about who you have relationships with. Okay.
So,
Keep thinking about it. Yours is unequally you're copying. Yeah. What's your name?
but Nazara. So is that on the basis of who you have a relationship with or just strictly,
What's your last name?
more?
More? Okay. Whatever however you want to make it, when you go there, you do your research, 'cause you telling us what makes your parents equally you. And then you saying, you could go out there and you could read some statistics and you could see how many people out there really is this one person. You could look at for some more people in your life, because really, everybody around me, I have a high divorce rate. I don't understand it. I know like one couple that been married for 20 years and it's a real marriage.
When
Yeah.
marriages belongs back in the ground.
Yeah, right. So the people who my age, I know one person.
Because again, back in the day, I would say, because women put up with a lot, and they knew their roles. You knew that, okay, for instance, I could speak to my great-grandparents growing up. My great-grandfather was a tailor. He would come home and my great-grandmother would cook for him. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She would walk to his tailor shop, drop him his lunch. Dinner time, she has his food prepared. When he comes home, he smoke his pipe. When he finish, he bed. If he go by Miss Susie, that's it. Ain't nothing to question in today's society.
So much.
Because what's up and all these things, and he'll be ready to.
Not only that, because you sitting in this class, because you educated, and because
Right,
you working.
yeah,
Yeah, you
Don't
wasn't
work.
working.
You knew your role.
No, I
Mind
don't
you, you
even.
still have some who still ain't working, but now today's generation, they still flying up in the face and they get
Some
approached.
people, yeah, some.
Majority of women right now,
Yeah,
don't care if she's
yeah.
working or not.
Yeah,
If she know
yeah.
her husband, boyfriend, sweetheart, she go in at the person.
You darn
Young
skippy.
Grammy learned to sit down.
Unacceptable.
Even not even Miss Taylor who lived next door. That ain't young Grammy. That wasn't young Grammy business. All she could have said when he come home was that
Because
she
older
needed
people
Billy.
learn
Billy
very
go
well.
home, eh? And Billy lay down and they go sleep and tomorrow morning breakfast is made. No, but for us, we learn when we work. You know, plenty girls who don't work and if you see the videos with going around, half of these people don't have nothing to lose, but they still fighting and carrying on and.
Yeah, they, no, our Grammys even pass that on us. They pass, that's one thing they did with us, that tolerance level. Go ahead.
Okay, I have an aunt. Her husband, he is wealthy, and they were married for years, and he had like 5 or 5 children during the marriage.
She cry in Dubai.
And
With 14 karat gold towels.
recently, my mom asked her why she stayed. She was like, the bills were paid.
A
She
lot
had
of women
nothing
stop.
to worry about. Like,
And that's the same, like how you
This
said, what
is-
is success, what
this
is success and
they
what
had
is
stopped
happiness.
all of that. It was just like living in the
And then
same
she
house. She
probably
was in
is
a
stupid,
different
she might
room.
want like he be the one first.
They were not living in the
Same
same
room.
room.
She probably looking for him to dead.
And get that
That's
insurance.
happening for true. She not she get no comfort now, you know. But God forbid, I mean to say he might be the one to die first, so you know women need to be smiling. That 5 children didn't get nothing.
Yeah, but that's long years of suffering though, oh my
No,
God.
but that's not to her.
No
And
money,
she was
no,
like,
no,
that's
no
why.
money on earth would be worth that to me.
She was saying like she was.
A man
she
like
had
you
nights
know he
where-
going inside that I guarantee you. She's gonna have people
She had
who
what?
have his common
Nice.
sense.
nights where
He gonna make
she
sure that
was
woman straight.
sit to the window. How they live in a 2-story house on the hill. So she was sitting in the window one day, really looking for him to like, what time he's coming home, like,
Yeah,
and when he do pull up, she
A
would
lot
run
of
in the
prominent
bed,
people
lay
like that
down
with money
and
live
she
their lives
was
like that though.
That is true.
And that's like, that made her turn to God, because now she's a Christian. She's like, she had to turn to God, because what he put her through.
She put
But
herself
She
her
put
aunt-
herself through
Okay.
that. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I couldn't do it.
Things you look like Grammy back in the day, you won't never go to sleep.
Yeah,
And you don't
Yeah,
care.
they pass that on to
But that
us.
was-
But keep in mind,
That
back,
don't care.
see, there's a lot of things involving, I'm putting a can of worms, but.
But that goes, her aunt situation goes back to the point where you say, where he said who you have relationship with, and also when it talks about your, what somebody said in reference to your health and eating and stuff like that. Because, how healthy are you?
Right,
But
just
that
that's
goes
a,
back to
that
them
ain't a
because
good
that
mental
played
state.
with her. She probably
Yeah.
had times that she couldn't eat, she probably had times that she couldn't drink
I
or
couldn't sleep.
So all of that working
second
on her,
stop
that probably
function.
trained, and probably you see, you be like, Annie, why you looking like this, you know, from the person she probably used to be. And tell you, like you said, she had to find a resolution with just going into church. That was her comfort, because probably she might have lost her mind. But you have a lot of people who
Who
have
doing
money,
that? Mm-hmm.
and they just
They live in
sit down,
these
they
big
turn them.
sad houses.
And that's why I always say you can't envy no one else.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why that ain't success, right? Big house, all the bills paid. Tell I rather OBC every month, give them little something.
Yeah.
And be happy. Yeah, I can't live that life. Cohen. Come on, tell me.
I gotta read this again.
You gotta read this again?
Because I didn't have a highlighter.
Okay.
I think for me, what jumped out was the point of visit China and India
Yeah.
if you wanna rule the planet in short.
Yeah. Yes or no?
That's
Yeah.
fine.
I agree. I mean, I
You
don't mean
agree?
the not saying that said I would like to visit, but when you really look at it, every Indian you come across is some kind of something, some doctor, and usually they the only one in the place.
Okay.
You know.
So let me tell you, China is
And the
lending us,
Chinese.
our port is $1.2 billion, I think. And China wants to lend it to us to build this port. So we all
Our
excited,
port.
our port, right?
Our
But
lending it to us.
you all know that Trump called Minister about 2 weeks ago and said, come and meet with him, because he wants to talk about the influence of Chinese have in the Bahamas, right? Too much influence. You know that the US embassy, the US embassy is moving now
You will
because
never let
they,
China block your barrier.
did the
You
point,
can't see.
right, they blocked the barriers.
Indians
They'll
run
have a
Canada,
flipping bomb
Right.
right there.
and the Chinese run the Bahamas.
Right, and
If you
so,
go to Canada, Indians, they everywhere. They everywhere.
but you could do your research on that, and you will find that China just acquired Guatemala's port, and 4 countries in Africa's port who they loan money to develop it. So, you know we ain't gonna pay in bills. We don't know where the back money gone yet. And we
You
don't
know
know
where
what
they
could
go.
happen,
You're saying I don't
even
know.
though it's at
We saw
12%.
making all the people making Nike tennis and shit.
Okay, but I don't only want y'all to talk about the Chinese bad. Y'all see the Chinese,
No,
every
no, I
Chinese,
mean from my
the
mind.
Chinese right now, let's talk about some good.
Yeah.
They live on 20% and they save 80. Any of us can do that?
All in them.
And then
They live in
And
their
then
own
on
building.
their brand.
they live in all their buildings, they go into the ghetto, they refurbish these buildings and you know how they beat customs? They bring in one trailer of bread, one trailer of cornflakes and they distribute it to every Chinese shop in the Bahamas. That's how they cut, that's why they can give us, we
We don't want
do
to
it.
live as one.
Yeah,
Because
so-
we have to be in competition with one another.
Okay, so it starts right here. So somebody please mentor somebody in this classroom on living as one. Or let's making this money. Or let's coming together and doing something. And stop just hating the Chinese. And when the Chinese offer us $1.2 billion, we could say no because we have another option.
All in the.
Okay?
I wasn't
It
talking
should
about
be
it from a negative
Trump.
point of view.
No, but I just,
Even
I want you to include all of that.
Farmers on the whole could live
So, okay,
there.
hold on.
And
One more
some-
question.
You have 10 Haitians living in a house.
Thank
Excuse me,
you.
anybody who has that. You got
Do you
10
tell each
Haitians,
other?
9 of them go to work, and 1 Haitian will stay home.
Keep all
Well,
that.
clean.
Clothes,
There you
clean.
go.
Us, we got around. Who healed this place? You leave the cup in the zinc.
Yeah, yeah.
You never had a national smiling and carrying
But
on.
that's just it. Everywhere you go in the world, there's a Jewish community, there's a little Haiti, there's a little China. You all ever heard about a little Bahamas? Nowhere, right?
Miami got a whole
A
little.
little, okay. Because they live together. Because the Jewish God after
We fight against one another.
after the Holocaust, the Jewish got what you call it reparations. So they take that money and they build their hospital, they
You know
build their
why? Because the
food,
Bahamas
their
have
schools
never
and
really
everything.
experienced some
Hard life,
and
yeah.
hard life
Yeah.
like
You're
your
right.
people.
So let's
You know,
don't wait till it happens.
Anywhere they go on banana.
Yeah. Let's
We
don't
all
wait till it
want to
happens.
eat Bentley. It's the thing. We don't nobody come after them.
My tree, I just give away the whole bananas off my tree. A whole thing of banana
See?
off my tree, I give
So
it
you
away.
gotta start eating that
There-
banana.
I know.
No, okay,
I
so
know.
let me see you
Yeah,
start.
there you go. I bring in banana for everybody tomorrow.
Okay.
No, but for real,
Yeah,
that's
make
where it
mine
starts.
So, okay, this paper you want us to write, when is this due? Cause I kind of messed
2
up
weeks,
again.
2 weeks.
So, 2 weeks on Monday or Wednesday?
Let me tell you right now. Let me look at with the quiz because I don't want it to.
See, this quiz. That's one of the quizzes.
Yeah.
Is this?
Oh, there's a quiz then. I ain't gotta.
No, May 13th. May 13th. Monday, May 13th. So you'll have the little weekend, just type up something and you come and educate us.
What are we talking about?
Whatever your topic is.
Whatever your topic is.
How long? Is it 1 page?
Yeah, 1 page. Just when you do your research, you can find out some more information about China.
Like
You
one
would
back
tell
and
us.
front page and one sheet?
Yeah, one sheet, 100 words.
So, in an instance like this, right, because I think it's all confined to one, where it says, why leaders fail our nation. Mostly because of, I would say, be on page 3 of 8. 5, which is excesses, popularity, power, possession, pleasure, praise and privilege, ignorance of or deviation from and blatant disobedience of the principles, yada yada yada, and failure to dedicate themselves to what matters most in the first life, and with that being leadership, as it relates to both the political and the religious aspect of our community now, where, you know, the parties that want to get in power to, I guess, fatten their pockets, so to speak. And of course, even with the churches now, because persons that are so reluctant to go to church and pay their tithes or give offerings because they feel as though the pastors, they abuse their money, you know, and it's not going, because we often see persons who are
Excellent. That's my next point.
What did she say?
She gonna open up her own church. Oh, and we gotta be the future leaders. We have to be the politicians because there are some honest people out there still left that are ethical, right? Some honest, ethical people are, everybody is thief. I mean, I know they say the behemoth is known for thieving, right? But some of us are still honest and some of us are still ethical. And we can't depend on anybody else to do it. We have to do it ourselves. We have to have the top position. We have to be in the government. That's the only way to make a
Most
difference.
famous of amnesia during election.
Yeah. And then
They
guess
do-
what?
they do all
You
work
hear
on
us
them
talking?
things.
We'll talk till I keep me talk. What you say?
All about wearing shit, that's all.
Yeah, and partying and trying to give on. Yes.
Only want
Yes.
the shirt to be on flow and
Yes.
rise, you talk go R&B.
Free drinks.
And
Yeah, okay, so fine, we can go out there, we can wear the shirt, we can party, but we can make a difference, right? And we ain't just to talk about it. If one of us in here makes a difference, it's a difference, right? And the only way to make a difference is if we get those top positions. That's the only way. Okay, so just don't take this as,
You're gonna really get in those
see
positions.
yourself as that's all right. Once we try, like I say, if 10 of us try and one of us get through, one of us will bring up the other 9. But we gotta stop making these excuses. We gotta stop caring about opposition. We gotta stop worrying about what people say. Anybody saw that Tiger Woods won the Masters?
Yeah.
Anybody
Finally.
listened to the news for the
And
last
it's
10
looking
years?
bad,
That's the first time he
Yeah,
won in
anything
11
can
years.
happen.
You know, and everybody say Tiger must retire.
retire.
He
They
must
say
go
he
back to
already
repod.
retired.
He is this. He is
And
that.
he
He
was
can't
trying.
win.
Quite
He is
divorced,
finished. He
right?
is.
They got divorced,
Yeah, they
right?
got divorced and he had to go to rehab. But I mean, negative talk for 11 years.
And he was crying.
And he was crying. He held all the news media in his hand. They played it for him on Facebook.
I watched them.
After he won, he sat there and they recorded him as he watched it and he cried. But he said he wanted his son when he won the first time. His son was not born yet or something like that, or was just a baby. And he wanted to let his son know, witness that his daddy was a winner.
Yeah.
Okay, and he did it for his son. 11 years of naysaying, of no, you don't make no sense, or no, I don't have to listen to you, or you must retire. The same person, the Alibaba guy, didn't have a job. Applied to KFC. KFC said you are unqualified. Okay? KFC. Right, so right. Okay, okay.
Different places and everybody
Well,
tell him no.
Everybody tell him no. And he created Alibaba.
The man who don't want to bring a KFC.
The man, who bought out KFC did the same thing. He had his grandmother's recipe, and they tell him no, he ain't gonna
Colonel
never make no
Sanders?
money. Colonel Sanders.
Oh, yeah, I can see
A
that.
thousand.
He established KFC till he was old. like,
Till he was retired and Social Security wasn't enough for
People
him.
tell him no.
Right.
Everybody tell him no.
Okay, so you can't be afraid of opposition, and you can't be afraid. It takes years to build an effective leader. Okay, but once you get back up, once they push you down, you get back up and you try again and you try again. That's what leadership
We have
is.
persons here like that. We even say like that. Who people told no.
Yeah,
So if they could do it, we could do it.
Dr. Science did it 2 or 3 times, in the F&M, and now he's the minister. He's expected
And
to
you
be
know, if you
probably
look
the
at
next
like,
prime
something
minister.
else like that, matter of fact, she always would say she grew up in Omaha. She had to teach her mother how to read.
Okay,
Her mommy did not know how to read.
okay.
So it's hard for her. She could never get help in homework because her mommy didn't know.
But that's what you just say, but Bahamians never had that real catastrophe, and so out of this same pain is how you become,
Yeah, because she said the teacher
Successful, eh?
is never gonna be nothing.
okay? Okay? Okay, so let's get back to her topic.
That's all, man.
Your topic, sweetie.
Oh, when I was saying that, political persons and religious persons, well, they go into these positions with, I guess, goals in mind and to entice person's attention. And then once they're in that role, the focus shifts from the community or persons alike to themselves, because
Okay.
now they realize they have this privilege where they can do certain things to benefit themselves, and they totally forget about the community that they took the stand for. And in an instance where I said earlier too, with churches, where persons are afraid to tithe or give offerings.
They feel it going for a Bentley or something,
Right,
or
and of
suit, or
course
nice
they
dress.
see, we Bahamians go where the pastor driving a BMW and the members have to be catching lights
Also, a lot of young
over,
people in church.
or, the persons are in need in the church and
There's no benevolent
there's no
fund, there's
help,
no
there's
soup
no
kitchen,
help,
there's no
yeah.
nothing. But a new building here, we need 10 locations and,
Yeah, we need a building fund and all this.
Okay,
And the pastor
so-
on the altar every week got to talk for this house.
Okay.
Money.
So this what you could do, because we are the future leaders, you are gonna give us advice on when we get to that top position, how to stay focused on what got us there. Like do right with what we supposed to do with the money, and not just invest it into our families and our friends, but put it back into the community. So how to do right with the money, but don't let the position get to our head. Remember our purpose and remember how we got there. So give us the training from now, so when we walk into these positions, we will remember, what's your name?
Mia Alton.
Mia Alton told us, when you get this position, after we done vote for you, remember to stay on track. Stick with your ethics, stick with your integrity. Okay?
I know I started talking about the unequal thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you made that my topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite part about this whole thing is this one line. Wise men talk because they have something profound to say. Fools because they have something to say. They have to say something.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Okay, so include that too. Add that with your unequally yoke and develop that. Give us some answers or some information on when fools talk and when wise men talk and what the difference was.
Okay.
Okay, good.
I have something else to stick out, but not for a topic.
Okay, so she do this talk. She could do this, and somebody could grab this. Who undecided now? Because we don't want it to run over into 2 or 3 weeks.
This is my role anyhow,
Yeah.
despite my role and my job, but something that sticks out that's gonna make you happy in life when he says avoid debt. Debt reduces your options in life. The joy in life and delays your retirement. Avoid death by debt. Avoid the debt trap. Never borrow money to buy pleasure or possession or popularity. Borrow only to buy that which will increase in value, increase your cash flow and ability to save and invest. Despite my position, avoid that.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
we come
revolving
up
credit
by
is.
Do you have any comment about my staff left?
Let me see.
Okay, let me just say working
You got
in
no
the
problem,
bank.
right?
No, you said the bank came from there?
If you work, this is going from the
COB. Working in the financial sector, I must say this here is a grave concern for Bahamians because we work in an atmosphere where persons come into the bank and they give an excuse like, I take my kids away in 2 years, I need to go on a trip. I need to borrow some money. Excuse me? They come to borrow just
What
to
do you
go
do at
away.
BLB?
No, but so what you supposed to do, and remember, we are supervisors now. What are we supposed to do? Find solutions. So you don't turn up your face at that person.
That's why I asked him when you come up my staff
Try
niggas.
like that,
And this only go on he say, she say, so don't hold me to this statement as true. However, I've came across a customer who stated that she went to a loan officer because she has a substantial loan amount to pay off her common bank, I think, and with Greeley for some other institution that lends money. And when she went to common bank to try and, I guess, lower her monthly payments to come to some sort of agreement, the loan officer told her that, okay, in not so many words, you put yourself in this position, you as an adult, and although I entirely side with her, however, you don't tell the customers because they're already frustrated. You know you can't afford this, you keep coming to the bank. However, we as a business, we have to make money, so it's up to you to make that decision to say, okay, enough is enough.
No, you know how hard they on the gambling people, right? The gambling people have to advertise that this is where you go get counseling. They have to offer counseling for free. They have every shop that you go in. Cohen, you remember when you did your project that they have to have this clause or they can't operate. The bank now needs to have that. When they say these, no, the gambling houses. You have to have a hotline, a rehabilitative service for a gambler.
No.
Right? No, that's why I say if the gambling houses, this is what, because I worked at Commonwealth Bank in 1999 and I had people come in with $2. That was before they implemented the debt service ratio. And the debt service ratio was implemented because people was going on with $2 at the end of the month. And some people still doing it.
I guess
Some
it's
people
office job,
because
it's not
that's how
the
many
bank.
years.
Because I
It's
could
the
speak,
payroll
I can't say where I used to work. I was at Scotiabank for 7 years. And at Scotiabank, it was not just about lending the customer. We were actually financial advisors. For me personally, if I had a customer like that same customer who came and say, okay, let's say for instance this customer only had $300. But I took that application and I say you only have $300 left in your pay. You paying a $600 rent, not 3 children. Honestly, for me, Scotia has trained their staff, you have the coaches, customer actually give them sound financial advice. I would say to a customer, Ms. Rowe, let's be honest here. Yeah, you may have taken your children away, but you have a, because I always say this, after you get this credit facility, there's life after. How are you gonna pay your rent for $600, have 3 children, and I always tell people things come up in life. You ever see sometimes when you get money or know when you getting paid, for some reason your car tire going bad, your battery this, for some things it's come up for some reason when you get money. I don't know, something in it. But I'm just speaking for the company that I worked
That's
for
why I'm
before.
saying in every company.
And not everybody, I know, but
Because
every
then you
a company
would
can be like that, but it's a
It's
person.
a person,
Yeah,
You
you have to have
Because you
integrity
know, because
and
that's what I'm gonna
ethics.
say, I had colleagues who was like that, you know, but they only looking at that goal of 3 million.
Yeah.
Because that 3 million only is the way, if I don't make the 3 million, I can't eat, I ain't get no
Yeah,
bonus.
that's
But
what
for
And you
me,
go home, was
I
why
know
the bank let
personally, I know
150
I
people
also
who
myself,
didn't
I put
meet their
myself in
quota.
that person too.
And
If I know
Okay,
what
150 people went home
I
who
like
didn't
to
meet
give
their
this loan
target.
and make my target, but come on, I don't need, you know what's gonna happen, and like she said with that same person, that same customer is gonna be bouncing from financial institution
Yeah.
all over.
listen,
And like you already say, if you don't get that, if you don't get that consolidation,
And then call up every 6 months, I see your balance sheet come down.
Yeah.
I can tell people for me, one thing I said, for instance, people on the road always had this thing about Scotia. Besides in Scotia, Stephen money. They always had this thing, Scotia don't lend money. Scotia, to be honest with you, is very selective who they lend money to.
That's good.
And I can tell anybody, for me personally, to get cash in hand, you ain't no middle class. They're lending money to people who they know could be able to pay them back. Who ain't come, I could give someone $100,000 to Mr. Roll, who own, just saying, I say he owned it for FYP, because I know Mr. Roll can pay me back. Versus me putting $100,000 in a government employee hand to go spell about who will be back in my face in another 3 months.
Yeah.
You know many times I look at people pay something and be like, yeah, today, 20,000, when you see a deduction, $900, you be like, oh, you have a mortgage and fidelity, yeah. You be like, no, that's just a little loan, you know, after the years, it top up. You have to be able, like I said, I don't think that the banks, some banks may, I can only speak for the bank I used to work for. They did, but they tell you have to be a financial coach, you just can't sit in there and be an officer. Not everybody follow that. Because you have employees who don't follow rules on the whole.
Right.
So not everybody probably follow that mandate. But for when we were in training sessions and we learn and sitting on that desk, you have to learn. I could say personally, I never regret that I worked at Scotia because it taught me a lot.
Gave you foundation.
It gave me foundation because honestly, you can't help everyone. Like some people, because some people be like, oh, I really need this money. What you think can happen? And I always tell people, look at it, and only could be yes, only could be no. If it's no, it's probably for the better, you're good. I've had people who come back to me and tell me, boy, Miss Wright, I'm so glad I didn't get that loan because this and that came up. And a lot of people don't take it away because they're only looking at their need now. They're not looking for the future.
We train them to be so dependent on these financial institutions. They don't want
That's
Or the
to
government
no,
or something like that.
People like Carmel and BLB, so like not from everywhere. But that's why when you look at people that nowadays only want government job to come get loan, you know.
Yeah.
They don't look at the long term. For me, I always just tell, like for instance, I have siblings who are young, who are in government, and I always just tell them, listen to me. If anything you will go to the bank for, go to the bank for a house. But even though I ain't gonna lie to bank, they give you $60,000 to squander, but they can take you to the rope to get a mortgage. They give you a brand new car, and that's just the law. But they can take you to the rope. But I always just tell them, listen, even if and it's nothing like establishing a credit, but don't run out. Even if you go get them a little.
You want me to change that topic, eh? You want me to change that topic, eh?
No,
Okay, so show of hands who don't have topic.
What
Show
is
of
that?
hands.
Give somebody else.
Show of hands. Who want to do that? Because every class, when we do this, somebody does that. Okay, all right, so tell us how to stay out of debt. Give us some advice. Tell us how to balance our budget. One person went as far as she went around, she got all the interest rates, and she encouraged us to go to the person with the lowest interest rate and open up accounts. And a lot of people did it. Then she started another plan. You wasn't in that class, eh? Where everybody, they say, let's save $25 this class. And every class, at the end of the class, I think everybody should add $450. None of y'all was in that, eh? Yeah, so everybody just saved it themselves. $25, and all of us is working, we can afford $25, but all of us don't have a savings, right? And that's how it started, just out of this same topic. she got everybody saving. At the end of the class, it was like 2 people who didn't have the 450, but the entire class had that.
At least they were
Yeah.
honest though.
$150 for how long?
No, the class was like for 14 weeks, and I think we did $25 a week. Yeah,
Oh,
like that. No, I mean on this new account, she went around to see what the best interest rates was. At that time, the rates that must see was in 2010 or 11. There was no more rates, so she went around and we all opened up accounts and we started saving and we continued it. You know what I mean? So that's how far you don't have to go that far, but we just want some tips about how to stay out of debt and what to do. Okay, because that's a big problem in the Bahamas or in the world. Okay, good. Who else? We ain't heard from you yet. Winter bottom. Ward. You don't want these 10 points, eh? Cooper get her 10 points tonight too. She next.
I think what's stuff at me was
And lady in the back.
failure to adapt and change.
Failure to adapt or change. So that's what you can talk to us about. What about it? What you like about that?
Okay, just again, our school system and our,
Teaching the
Our
same thing for the
workforce.
last 25 years.
Our course, and we have to adapt to the change for the industry requires.
And why is change important?
Because we need to be able to sustain ourselves, we can't do it.
And then not only that, keep current, right? Because all the laws were revamped in 2018, the FTRA, what have you. If we still stuck on the 2001, we don't know, you know, if we still doing what we're supposed to do, right? And if we doing it right, right? Okay, so change is inevitable, it's important. We must stay current, we must stay up to date. That's why they say take a class, go to a seminar, do something to keep current or you will get left behind. Okay, so good, change, the importance of change, why it's necessary, and what do we do to stay comfortable, because I know one time, when I used to be the manager of operations and then they put HR under me, and the lady in HR, she was like just before 65, and man, that was one of I'm glad I had that experience, but it was very, very difficult. Yes, it definitely was. But I had to change a lot to understand that was the only way. Yeah, that was the only way she could function, and she wanted to do everything manually. She was afraid of the computer, and I mean terrified of the computer, terrified. And then, you know, I felt that, okay, perhaps let me put out, you know, they made everything digital, they made recruitment digital, they took it out of Cayman, and she just couldn't keep up. So I said, perhaps, you know, let you relieve for the receptionist or the person who, you know, she only had 1 more year before she retired, but she felt like, but she feel like I was gonna let this person replace her before she retired, and trying to convince her that you were here for 40 years, I would not steal your last year. you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, you here. But that was the most, so I had to just let her do everything manually and then put everything in the computer myself, just to make it work. Yeah, but it was like, listen, she used to cry, I don't might cry, and then I tell her, I told her, I said, okay, but relieve for the receptionist because it's less work and stuff with it. Man, she felt like I was demoting her. It was so many. Yes.
So who's you?
To come, and I'm younger, you know, that was, all those, how do we manage when we are uncomfortable, because it luckily it was excusable because she was older, but what happens when it happens to us? Because I was also there when, you know, we were being sued, so we closed out the trust and wealth management, and the capital markets people came in, and I was in charge of operations, and so I had to find somewhere for all these people to sit. And guess where they had to sit? Basically on top of the people who was walking out the door, but they wasn't walking out the door yet. So how I could come and say, I need to put 3 people in your office. I must have had like 6 people in my office just so I couldn't stand on anybody's toes or make them uncomfortable. Okay, so all of that is a part of change and transition. Okay, all right, good. Who else? Lady in the back.
Yeah, but I'd like to read it again.
You would like to read it again?
Yes, something.
Okay.
On the basis of-
Let me give your for y'all who don't have one, another hot topic is, somebody said that they didn't believe that the page where it says good looking people that smell good make more money. That always dress up, make more money, have good hygiene, make more money. Somebody said, no, that wasn't true. So I said, okay.
I agree.
Okay, but we're talking about majority now, we ain't talking
In the
about,
corporate world
okay.
itself, if
It's
you look a
beauty.
certain
So-
way or carry yourself a certain
so-
way.
Look, the
who-
richest
who-
and the brokest in the financial sector.
yeah,
I
who
think
going,
These
Because
rich
you're
people, dragon slippers and they don't like jewelry.
yeah, no, now we talking about rich people, we talking about in the corporate world workers. We talking about, yeah, because people who have a lot of money, they don't want to attract attention, so they do drag slippers. And at one point I did some work with Atlantis, and saw a person who was there, and everybody, we was walking from one tower to the next. Everybody had on a 3-piece suit, cufflinks, Gucci shoes, what have you, he had on slippers. And they pop on the way.
He took
And
him off when he walked
we
barefoot.
stop him, no, he walked barefoot, and then we stop him to the little boutique store, and the people of course ran outside, just gave him a pair of slippers, and he was like, make one of them guys, these guys are rich, make one of them pay. He was the richest. Everybody only looked like money, he's the only one who really had the money. He said, make one of those guys, and everybody pulled out their wallet to pay for that slipper. But he had on a little dirty t-shirt, he had on a pair of pants that looked like boxers, and he was dragging a pair of slippers. Okay, so I want somebody to tell me if good-looking people with good hygiene make more money.
They
Who
look
don't have the
They're more
topic?
attractive.
Cooper, you wanna take that one?
No, I have one.
I can take it.
You can take that, okay, good. What's your name?
Virginia Ferguson.
Ferguson. Okay, Ferguson.
But I actually had one though.
You had what? So, Cohen, you wanna take that one?
I have this one, you must commit time and effort to financial planning, as we speak about that.
Okay, Cohen, financial planning, okay, very good. And we need a lot of advice, because it's so hard to say if Cohen is. Every time the paycheck come, BEC, I wasn't supposed to charge me back, and then they tell me, I was just saying, yeah. And they was, not only that, they tell me that, my electricity registered, like, I on my electricity on the owner supply. And so the owner supply only supposed to have like the outside lights in the pump, but my electrician have it hook up backwards.
Oh, you getting the front of the bill.
Right, and so, and now I have to get the electrician, pay the electrician
More
to,
money.
to
Reverse
reverse it, so I don't have to pay VAT on that. Ain't that some mess? And I don't say, okay, my VAT money going right to my, this extra $30 I pay every month going right to my savings. Now I gotta pay it to the electrician I gotta save it, pay it to the electrician, and then put it to my
The
savings.
more
So,
money you make, the more expenses and things is then.
yeah, but so help us, we need good financial advice. So you say you have what? What's yours?
If I say I'm continue to live life at the highest level, become an effective leader.
Okay, living life at the highest level.
No, become an effective leader.
Okay. Effective leader, okay, very good, yes, because we need to know now, we can't just become the prime minister and know we need this training, 10 years of good training, good knowledge, and we remember these words of wisdom that y'all share with us when we get in these positions, and we need to spend the money on ethically, we go, put it where it's supposed to go. Okay, very good.
Alright, so when I was looking at was the sooner you have enough money, the sooner you can retire and do what you really want to do without the constraints of a master and quotation.
Right.
And looking at the word master, it made me thought about like how most jobs right now in the Bahamas, like it's either the wages are too low or employees being treated inhumanely. And this, for him to say this with the word master in quotation, that means that word spoke a lot of truth.
Right. Oh, so let me ask you, how far, I want you to write that as your story, but how far in the corporate world do you expect to go? To the top?
Yes, sir.
When you get to the top, I want you to remember this essay that you wrote, and I want you to make a difference.
Yeah.
I want you to enforce a positive culture, and I want you to enforce fair wages. A lot of people could fight you, but you could push it. And you could get it started, and you have your network around you, and then you call Cohen and you say, Cohen, I need a VP, and you call that lady over there and say, I need an executive this, and that's your team. By the time you get there, you should then have your team established, enough people who will support you. to make these changes, and that's the way you do it. And it ain't gonna happen now, next 10 years, we can remember you, because you would tell us what to do, okay? And you read about on some people who have done it, who have tried to change it and tried to make a difference, okay? Okay, very good. Lady in the back.
I have another point.
Okay.
So there ain't no for no essay, no talking. But still up for me for the sports in reference to supervisory skills, where it says the more knowledge you have, the better equipped you will be to build the lives of your children, your family, and the other people you lead, influence, or mentor. That's important because imagine for me, being in a supervisory role, if I'm unable to assist my staff or anyone in a particular area, then what does that make me? I'll be an incompetent supervisor. So I think the more knowledge that I gain, and especially being in a supervisory role, you can't just be stuck with a mind and saying, okay, this is only job for my desk. And I'm not supposed to be I don't do investigations, I don't do this. You can't have that actual mindset. You have to be an all-around person in order to supervise, because it might be a day that your staff or someone gonna come to work today, and then tomorrow they call in sick or something happened. You have to be, if you can't find someone to sit on that desk, you have to be the one who gotta actually be able to multitask and say, okay, I'm still gonna be supervising and making sure everybody, they're speaking, for instance, if you're a telesupervisor, I'm still gonna be able to lock away my tellers, but there may be a point in time this government payday. Two of my staff calling, so I can't get someone from another branch to fill in, I should be able to go on a counter and serve that line. So that's important when you're on a you just don't look for it as a title. You gotta be able to actually, the more knowledge you gain, it'll be more productive for you too.
And let me tell you what else we have a problem with: asking for help. We don't need, I should say, my disclaimer is, I don't know it all. I just have to do a lot of research. You may ask me a question, hopefully I can answer you now, or if I can't, somebody can assist me, or I'll find out and I'll get back to you. Don't be afraid to say that. I have people that stand up in front of young entry level and just talk rubbish. Complete, they don't know nothing about a topic, and they offering a training on it. They ain't do no research, and I told them they lead the whole bank astray. And they stand up and they speak most eloquently because they done been to school in London. And you will believe everything that they say, and they're wrong. Okay, because they know it all. So when we get up there, don't go with no man is an island. Build your team. All this research, you keep giving us good ideas, but you say no, not for a topic. You can't do all these topics. Get these people out here to do a topic, but these topics are important. You know what I mean? So when you have a good idea, share it and say, I don't really have time. I need you to help me develop this idea, or I need you to do this. So don't be afraid to share your knowledge.
Because you
and
have
ask for help.
Some supervisors who just into micromanaging.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's important for you to learn from your staff.
Yes.
Because your staff may be that person who actually could say, hey, Ms. Wright, let's try this way. So be receptive into their idea, because it might be, because your mind probably ain't thinking or percolating to say.
Or you just too busy. You just too busy because you you have a whole team and you doing everything yourself.
Don't just be someone who just want micromanage and supervise and say, hey, no, that ain't gonna work. It could work.
Right.
And then when you work along with the team, they'll be more perceptive and actually come to you, and then they'll go better. But if you just be someone who all day
be too lazy. We don't want to go to school. We don't want to go to no seminar. We don't want to keep ourselves abreast, up to date with what's current. And so therefore we want everybody one step behind us. And so they don't overtake us. But if you're confident in what you're doing, if you stay connected, if you stay educated, then you don't worry about who coming up behind you. Encouraging them people to come up behind you.
At one point might be able to help you.
Listen, in Royal Bank they have certain levels. One level took me 7 years to get from the supervisor level to middle management. It took me 7 years. I had 2 people with me. It took one 5 and it took the next one 3. And we celebrated. Because we said, okay, there is now a change in Royal Bank. Because you don't have to be in this position. You don't have to be a supervisor for 10 years to get to middle management. You know what I mean? And that's how it was. When they look at your resume, oh, she only been in that position 3 years. Oh, no, she ain't ready yet. They're looking at it as, yes, not qualifications, not information. So I was proud. Other people was like, oh my God, what type you? I was making $30,000 when I was a manager at the branch. Now you just an assistant, an executive assistant, and you're making $30,000. that shouldn't be that way. But that was 10 years ago. You wanted people paid to never, like never, because when you was that age, that's all you made. And so, so change all these things. This is why we need the top position. This is the only way. Okay? Train people, educated people who know better. Okay? Very good. Lady in the back? Your hand was up?
Yes, I'm just filling out and I'll be talking about arrogance and pride.
Okay, what's your name?
Jacinta?
Jacinta?
Yes.
So Jacinta, you must be staying then. Or you just could drop off your presentation because you're helping us out. Okay. Jacinta, why did you fail? Okay. Okay. Okay, good. And so everybody has a topic now. Everybody knows the date. What's the date? Next week, Monday.
I can't even enjoy my Mother's Day.
Enjoy your Mother's Day, please. Do your work on Saturday, Mother's Day until Sunday. All right? Unwind, have a little fun when you get off Friday night. Take an hour on Saturday, do your research, and then enjoy your Mother's Day time together. Okay? And then come in ready to present to the class on Monday. And in fact, right now it's 8 o'clock. You have 30 minutes now. You will reach home 30 minutes earlier tonight. Everybody already have their topic. We had a very provocative discussion, very exciting and interesting. Yes, unless you all start chapter 1.
No.
Okay, so there you go. So take just 30 minutes that you all have and digest your thoughts as you drive home to put it in your paper. Okay? And then also on that same Monday, we want to know, or the Monday before, we want to remember it's a short time. There's only a few weeks, 7 weeks. Get your mentee and come. Giving us
1 page.
yeah, just 1 page. But the whole point is that you go through the process. In your 1 page, you cover purpose, communication, trust, process, and feedback.
Oh, hold on. I thought that was for the mentor.
Yeah, for the mentor, which 1 page for this too. Just 1 page, yeah.
No,
1 page for both.
I know, but the process, trust, and that's for the
Yeah, for the mentor, yeah, right.
And this is just to talk about.
Yeah, just to talk about the paper, yeah.
Repeat what are we doing again? I'm not knowing this like an hour, but
Okay, yeah, so
run down.
we're talking about the paper, which we read the 8 pages, right? That is not due until June 17, and so the pretty lady sitting next to you will fill you in. You get her number, and she'll tell you everything that you missed. And that's why we want to make sure everybody has our number. We get together and we network and we help each other. Okay, so if you miss a class, you gotta find a buddy who will keep you up to date. Okay, so see everybody on Wednesday. And remember, you would have read chapter 1.
1 and 9.
1 and 9, yes. Okay? So let's help you. Very happy to see you, Mama. How you been? That's good. That's very good. You can do it. Stop it right there. Leave all of that at the door. So you get through this, just like you get through everything else. All right. See you all on Wednesday. All right. Take care. Come with more provocative topics now.
You sound like Darren.
I already got my 10%.
You will, of
Remember
course.
that
You kept the whole class. Excellent.
You was my sound, right? No, you didn't.
Yes. What's your name? Let me see. I don't see none of these names.
All right, good night.
Let me write that. Okay. Okay, thank you. What's your name? Tiffany Montes there. Okay. Yeah. Just so you all remember, because you all look mature. A lot of people say, oh, I don't remember, Miss Bullet, what I was supposed to do or whatever, but I have that problem with you. Yeah. Well, what's your name?
Wesley.
Wesley. See, you know.
That
Nobody-
they didn't send in my registration, so we have to deal with that.
Okay, and what's your topic?
My topic is on how maturity can positively and negatively affect the relationships.
Okay.
So 1 page,
Relationships.
200, 300 words.
No, I don't. It's just that you explain yourself entirely to us, and because you're doing that, so you go tell us how to save, how to revolving debt is a killer. Stay away from credit cards, stuff like that, and do some statistics. Yes, do some statistics, and then encourage us to save. find us an easier way to say it. Tell us how simple it is to get $1 million, $1 a day or something like that. Something, all sorts of stuff out there. When you do your research, you'll find stuff.
Alright,
Okay,
thank
great.
you, Friday.
Mine is the one for China and
Yeah,
India.
China and India. What your name is?
Malaysia.
Lord, yeah, so you wasn't on this either.
Mine is China and India, why they were planning short order.
Okay. Why they will,
Short order.
okay, great. Okay, very good. So remember to read.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, take care.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.